Okay, guys. Today, let's see about VPN, Direct Connect, and VPC peering. So, what are they, and when we use those things? Okay. So, VPN, as most of you know, like it is virtual private network. Okay. So, when we will use this VPN, so let's consider a scenario. So, let's consider a scenario. So, actually, we have a VPC. Okay. We have a VPC. Okay, so and in VPC, let's assume we have some private subnet. Okay, we have private subnet. Okay, now let's assume we have some on-premise server. Okay, we have one on-premise server. On-prem. On-prem means it is managed by our own company. Okay, now we have this VPC. It is in AWS. Okay, this VPC it is in AWS, and on-prem it is our servers which are managed by us. So how we can establish connection between this AWS VPC and our on-prem server? So in order to enable the permission, so we have to configure a VPN gateway. Okay, VPN VPN gateway, and then here in case of on-prem we should have a gateway. This gateway is called customer gateway. Okay, this is customer gateway, and we will have VPN gateway. So this communication will happen between this AWS and on-prem using IPsec. Okay, that is called IPsec. Okay, so in case if you want to access any of the resources from on-prem server from our private subnet, then we have to connect it using VPN gateway, and it will enable the connection using IPsec. Okay, IPsec to the customer gateway. So how the connection happens? So when the VPN gateway is enabled, actually the VPN which is here, it terminates the VPN on AWS side. So this VPN gateway is there, right? So this VPN gateway, it will terminate the AWS side VPN. So it will disable the connection. Okay, the VPN which is already there, it will disable, and then it will enable the connection to this internet gateway. Also, this customer gateway, it will disconnect the VPN which is in. So normally when we try to access any of the Office applications, we have to connect to the VPN, right, first. So that VPN connection it will disable from the customer side. Similarly, this VPN gateway it will disable the VPN connection from AWS side. So it will connect to the on-prem server using IPsec over internet. Okay, so it will use the internet connection, and it will connect the resources which is available in the on-prem. So this is one of the method. Okay, this method if you come here, so it encryption, so it ensures data security using protocol like IPsec. Okay, the protocol which uses is IPsec. Okay, and then it is cost effective because it uses the existing internet connection, like it will not be needing any other thing. So internet based on the internet charges you will be charged, and routing policies. Okay, we can enable BGP. Okay, we can enable BGP for the communication as well. So in case of BGP, we have to enable the routes. We should enable the routes. So in case if we have to enable communication between this and this, then actually we have to, for example, if this it is working in port number 1.1.1.1, and if this is working in um, 192.1.1.1. Okay, so in case if you want to access this server, then we have to configure the route table. Okay, we have to configure the route table here, defining this IP address. Okay, 192.1.1.1. So then only this VPN routing will happen. Okay, because it has to know, right, like where it has to exactly connect. Okay, so how this VPN works? So in AWS VPC, we have to create, in case if we have a subnet, then we can enable the VPN gateway. Okay, and then we have to enable customer gateway at on-prem server. Okay, this VPN gateway it will disable the VPN from AWS, and the customer gateway it will disable the VPN at on-premise, and then it will work on the IPsec protocol, okay, over the internet. In case if you have to access this this IP address 192.1.1.1 which is on on-prem server, we have to enable the route table. Okay, so what we have done, we have to create, in case if we have the VPC in AWS, okay, first we have to configure VPN gateway. Okay, we have to first configure VPN gateway, then this and from on-prem customer gateway, and then we this will have the communication over this one using IPsec, that is the protocol. Okay, so by this way you will be able to enable the connection. So in interview they will ask like what are the different methods to enable the communication between on-prem server and cloud, your AWS. Okay, so then you have to tell like we have to use VPN, we have to use AWS VPN to enable the connection between on-prem and AWS. So we have to enable VPN gateway from VPC, and then we have to enable the customer gateway at the on-prem server, and this will communicate over IPsec. Okay, so and then we have to enable the route table of the IP address of the on-prem server in the AWS VPC. Okay, this is the method, and it also compatible with BGP. Okay, it is like a direct connection. So what are the use cases? It extends the on-prem infrastructure to the cloud resources. Okay, so in case if we already have some, for example, when this will be majorly used, for example, uh, you have a bank. Okay, let's consider HDFC Bank. Okay, so they are thinking of using AWS. Okay, they are thinking of using AWS, but they fear, what they fear, in case if they keep the customer data in cloud, it may be theft. Some theft may happen, or else we are placing it in some other guy's environment. Cloud means it is some other company's infrastructure, right? So they don't want to place that customer data in some other guy's infrastructure. So they, what they do, they maintain their own infrastructure. Okay, let's name it as HDFC infra. Okay, they have their own infra. Here they have placed all DBs. Okay, DB1, DB2, all the DBs they have placed. So we have customer data. So this should be always, they think it should be always with us, it shouldn't be in cloud. So what they can do, they can create their own SDFC infra. Now they want to, this DB, it has to connect to other resources, like for example, if they have some EC2 instances here, or else they have some load balancers, these DBs has to use these resources, right? Then what we can do, then we can configure VPN gateway. Okay, we can configure VPN gateway here, and then we can create a SDFC customer gateway here, and then we can enable the connection using IPsec. Okay, by this way the resources which is in AWS can be accessed from SDFC infra. That is the main use case. Okay, and then we have one more thing that is called direct connect. So what is the use of direct connect? So direct connect, it establishes a dedicated and a private connection between on-prem data center and cloud center. Okay, so what it does, instead of connecting over internet, it will directly enable the connection using any of the uh, direct connection using ports. Okay, they will use some LAN cables and they will directly connect. So what is the main advantage? It will have a high bandwidth. Okay, so the speed will be of up to 100 GB per second, and a low latency. Like it will not have any latency. In case of internet, in case if the internet is down, then it will have latency, right? So in direct connect, it will not have any internet issues. Okay, and then it is highly reliable because everything is going over the wire, right? So it will have like high performance. Um, so initially there will be huge cost involved in this method because you have to enable the hardwares, right? So it will have huge cost and setup complexity. So first time the setup may cost too much and it will be tough because you are sending all the data over different routers, right? So it may be costly. So how this direct connect works? So um, we have data center. Okay, we have data center here. Okay, and then we have AWS. resources. Okay, so we have your own data center here, and then you have AWS resources. So how we can connect? We can connect directly. Okay, this is called direct connect. So so what happens? So for example, this AWS resources, for example, it is hosted in Mumbai. Okay, for example, it is hosted in Mumbai, but your on-prem server. Okay, let's assume this is located in Chennai. Okay, now enabling connection between Chennai and Mumbai, it will be very tough. Why it will be tough? Because the in case if you want to directly access the server port means we will have the ports in our laptop, right? Similarly, we will have port for the servers. Okay, so we can't enable the connection from Chennai to Mumbai directly. So what we can do? We can just select a location. Okay, this location is called direct connect location. Okay, direct connect location. So this direct connect location, it will so here what we will have, these like our servers, right? Our servers, for example, let's consider SDFC. So what we will have, we will have customer gateway. Okay, customer gateway. Now we have this direct connect, right? So this direct connect location is there. So instead of directly opening the port in AWS resources, this AWS, what it does, this AWS, it will come here and it will purchase a port. For example, port means, you know, right? In your system you will have a port. Similarly, this AWS, it will purchase the port. The AWS, it will not have the infra here, it will be in Mumbai, but you can purchase a port in Chennai itself. For example, in Chennai, this Azure, right, this AWS, right? Maybe Azure might be having a data center in Chennai. Okay, there you just purchase a particular port, or else from some other vendor you purchase a port, and then this user, he will directly connect to this port. How you will connect? Here we have customer gateway, right? So here again we have to create a customer router. Okay, we have to configure a router. Okay, because this data, it has to come to the router, and from router it will go to AWS router. So this router is of direct connects, and this is AWS router, because this AWS has purchased this particular router from some other company. Let's assume Azure. Okay, from Azure it has purchased this port. So what user can do? User from his customer gateway, he will send the data to this router. Okay, this and from here it will connect to the AWS port. Then what happens? Um, in case if you have some resources, for example, in here we have private subnet and public subnet. This is public subnet, and this is private subnet. Okay, this is public subnet and private subnet. In case of private subnet, it has to have VPN gateway. We should have VPN gateway, right? VPN gateway. So AWS, it has to come to VPN gateway, and it has to go to private subnet. But in case of public subnet, this is public subnet, right? So from AWS we can directly access public subnet. Okay, so by this way we can enable the direct connection. So what exactly happens in VPN connection we used? So in VPN connection, we used VPN gateway and customer gateway, and connection is happening over internet. Okay, connection is happening over internet, but here connection is happening using wire. Okay, so we have a data center, and we have in intermediate we have some direct connect location. Okay, so here we don't have AWS location. AWS, what it does, Amazon, it just purchases a single port. Okay, like a LAN port. Okay, like we will have LAN connections, right? So it will just connect, get a LAN port. So you, what you do, from customer gateway you connect to the router. Okay, customer router, and from this router you connect it to the AWS router. From this AWS router, you will be able to connect to this VPN gateway of AWS cloud, and from there you will be able to connect to the private and public subnet. In case of public subnet, you can, from this direct connect, you can directly connect. Otherwise, in case of private subnet, you have to go to AWS, and from AWS you have to go to the VPN gateway, and from VPN gateway you have to go there. Okay, this is how the direct connect works. And then we have another thing called VPC peering. Okay, so what exactly is VPC peering? So we have VPC 1, okay, and then we have VPC 2. So what is the use of VPC? So VPC will be isolated, okay. Isolated means it will not have any connection with other resources, okay. For example, if you create a EC2 instance here, okay, and if you create a EC2 instance here, these two will not have any connection, okay. These two will not have any connection. Why? This VPC, it will act as a different environment, isolated environment, and this VPC2 will act as a different isolated environment. So whatever resources you create, S3 is not, in case if you create any LB or DB, whatever it is, so these things will be related to this VPC2. Yeah, this VPC1, it will not have any connection. But in case if we have some resources here and if we want to access this one, then we have to connect this VPC and this VPC, right? So what we have to do? We have to do VPC peering. Okay, we have to do VPC peering. Peering means connection. So VPC peering creates a direct private network connection between two VPCs. Okay, you can access the VPCs using the private IP addresses itself. Okay, in case if you have like a different account, so for example, here I am using some other account. In case if you have like a different account, you can use different account as well. So you will be able to connect. Okay, and then no bandwidth bottlenecks. They as they are of same AWS, there will not be any internet issues. Okay, and it is mainly used when we have like databases across different resources. For example, if we have some resources and it has to be accessed from all the AWS accounts, then it will be useful. Okay, so now let's do a practical like how to do VPC peering. Okay, so let's create a VPC. Create VPC only. Okay, let's create a VPC1. Okay, and CIDR block 10.0.0. Okay, okay, we have created a VPC1. Now let's create a VPC2. VPC2. Okay, so we have created two VPCs, VPC1 and VPC2. Okay, now what we can do? Now let's try to create two EC2 instances. Okay, okay. So meanwhile, we have not created any subnets, right? So let's go ahead and create subnets as well. Okay, create subnet VPC. Let's create VPC1. Okay, subnet VPC1. Okay, and then we can select 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, create subnet. Similarly, let's create one more subnet. Okay, this time let's select VPC2. Okay, so here subnet VPC2. Okay, and then here 11.0.1.0/24. Okay, now we have two subnets VPC. Okay, so we have two subnets. One is associated with the VPC1, another with VPC2. Okay, now let's create route tables. Okay, so we have route tables. RT1, RT1, select VPC, this VPC, create route table. Okay, so wait, so subnet association, we have one subnet, right? Edit, add this one, save subnet. Similarly, we have to create internet gateway as well. Okay, create internet gateway IG1. Okay, create internet gateway, and then let's attach this one, attach to VPC. So to which VPC? Let's attach to VPC1, attach internet gateway. Now I will create one more internet gateway IG2. Okay, and then I will create the internet gateway. Now I will attach this to VPC2. Okay, attach internet gateway. Now let's come to route table. So we have created RT1, right? So in routes we have to enable routes. Okay, add route 0 to internet gateway. Where is the internet gateway? Internet gateway, and select this one. Okay, save changes. So it will have access to the internet. Okay, subnet association we have already done. Now go to route table 2, create route table, create RT2. Okay, and then select VPC. Here we have to select the second VPC. Okay, and create route table, and then subnet association, edit subnet association, select this one, save, and then now routes. Okay, edit routes, add route 0 0, and then select internet gateway, and then 0, save changes. Okay, so we have created subnets, we have created route tables, we have created the internet gateway. Okay, so everything is done. Now what we have to do, now we have, can create the EC2 instances. Select EC2 instances, launch instance, and then I will give name as VPC1. Okay, VPC1, and let's keep everything as default, and create key pair demo. So it is selected, edit. So here select VPC1. Okay, VPC1, and subnet we have already, right? Just that is already selected, and assign the IP address, enable, and then let's create a new security group. That's it. Launch instance. Similarly, let's go to EC2 instance, launch instance, VPC2. Okay, I'm just giving the name. Okay, you can give whatever name you want. T2 micro. I'm using same key pair. Edit, and then VPC. We have to select VPC2. Okay, and then subnet. It is already selected. Okay, VPC2, and then enable. Okay, security group. Let's use already existing one. Okay, let's create a new one. And launch instance. Okay. Okay, now let's go to EC2 instance, refresh. We have two instances. Okay, let's try to connect this one. Connect. Similarly, let's go for second instance. PC1, connect, connect. Okay, if you see, we're able to connect. Okay, so um, ping google.com. So internet is working. Okay, so all the configurations which we made for VPC, it is correct. Let's try here also. Ping google.com. So here also it is working. Okay, so till now what we have done. Okay, so till now we have created VPC1, and then we have created VPC2. We have created VPC1 and VPC2, and in VPC1 we have created an subnet. Okay, we have created subnet, and here we have created a subnet. Okay, and then we have created a internet gateway, and we have created a internet gateway, and then we have created route table, and we have created a route table, and then we have created a EC2 instance, and we have created EC2 instance. So we are able to access this one, like it is able to ping internet, and it is able to ping internet. Okay, now what we have to do now, this is one VPC and this is another VPC. Now we have to enable connection between this VPC1 and VPC2. Okay, so this is called VPC peering. Okay, this is called VPC peering. Okay, now let's see the VPC peering. Now if you come here, instance, let's go to VPC2. Okay, so we have private IPv4 address. Okay, so if you come here, VPC peering creates a direct private network connection. Okay, not public network. Okay, it is private network connection between two VPCs within same region or different AWS accounts. Okay, it can be same region or different AWS accounts. Now what happened, we have to use private. Okay, this is the one private, right? This is the IP address of VPC2. Okay, now let's go to VPC1. This is the VPC1. Okay, now let me try to ping. Okay, ping 11.0.151. Okay, so we are not getting any response. Why we are not getting response? Because we have not enabled the VPC peering. Okay, when we enable the VPC peering, then only they will be able to talk. Otherwise, VPC, it will be like isolated component. Okay, whatever resource you create within VPC, it will not be able to talk to the outside world. Okay, outside world means like it will not be able to connect with the any other VPCs. Okay, so now, for example, we have to access VPC1 with VPC2 to do some thing. Then we have to do the VPC peering. Okay. Now let's do the VPC peering. Let's go to VPC. If you see at bottom, we have something called VPC peering. Okay. Just click on that one. Create VPC peering, and then I will give the name as my VPC peering PR. Okay. I will give it as PR, and then VPC. Okay, here VPC ID requester. So in case if in the VPC requester, we have to give any of the VPC. Now we are enabling the connection between VPC1 to VPC2, right? So let's consider VPC1 is the requester and VPC2 is the receiver. Okay, now let's go to VPC requester. Requester is VPC1. Okay, select VPC1 and CIDR block. It is automatically selected. Okay, and here we have an option, select another VPC2 peer. Okay, in case here it is my account, in case if I am using same account, then you can select my account. Okay, so in case because we have created two VPCs in my account only, right? In case if you have like your account, for example, I am using VPC1 in my account and VPC2 in Karthik's account, then I have to select another account. Okay, that guy will have different account ID, right? Here my account ID is 3814 9229 something. Similarly, you will have account ID. We have to give the account ID and we have to select the region. Okay, here I am just selecting my account because I am using it in my account. Okay, so my account and region, so I am using the same region. Okay, so and then VPC ID acceptor. Okay, so here it is requester is VPC1 and acceptor is VPC2. Okay, select VPC2, that is of range 11.0.0./16. that is the IP range, right? So that is the one. Now let's create VPC peering connection. So if you see, select this one. So VPC peering connection is created, but here it is showing us pending acceptance. So now what we have to do, we have to come here and accept the request. Okay, in case if it is like another account, you guys have to come to VPC peering and you will see this request. Okay, then you have to accept the request. Okay, I am accepting, accept. So it is active. Okay, so we have enabled the VPC connection. So we have enabled the VPC peering. Okay, it is enabled. Now let's try to ping. So it is again not working. Why it is not working? We have enabled the peering. We have enabled the peering, but we have to enable the route table as well. Okay. So because route table is always important. So for example, how this route table works. For example, we are telling the user, for example, user one stays in Chennai, okay, and then user two is in Delhi, okay. Now user one has to go to Delhi. Okay, so he will go to Delhi. But in Delhi, he has to go to a hotel. For example, you have to go to some Taj hotel or some other hotel. So he has to know the path, right? He goes to Delhi, but he has to know the exact path. Similarly, we have enabled the VPC peering. Okay, this is called VPC peering. Means from Chennai to Delhi, that is called VPC peering. That we have enabled. In Delhi, where it has to go? To Taj Hotel or some other places, right? Similarly, we have to define the route table. Okay, route table will define the path, like where it has to go. Okay, so now let's come here, go to route table. So this RT1, route table one, just select this one, and in routes, in here we have to give the destination because we have to give the exact destination, this hotel or this place like this. For that cloud, we have to define the path, like destination path where it has to go. So what we have to do, edit routes. Okay, edit routes, add route. So where it has to go here, this it has to go to certain, because how we will identify machines, we identify machines using IP addresses, right? So if you come to this instance, I will just open a duplicate tab, go to your VPC. Now from VPC 1, we have to go to VPC 2. Okay, just select this one, VPC 2, and select on, click on CIDR. Okay, so what is the CIDR range? 11.0.0.16. So this is the actual address of that machine. Okay, where it has to go. Just copy this one and paste it here. Okay, so this is destination. This is VPC one, right? Route table one. It has to go to this destination. Okay, and for this destination, how it has to go? Previously, in case if you have to connect to internet, we have to select internet gateway. Here we are using pairing connection. Select this one, and this is the connection. Just select. So in destination, we have to select the destination where it has to go, and we have to select the pairing connection because we are enabling the VPC pairing, right? So just select this one and save changes. Okay. Similarly, go to to route table 2. Here we have to edit the routes. So here the destination is, for example, if this Delhi guy has to come to Chennai, we have to give the Chennai's IP address. Okay. Similarly, if we come to VPC 1 and CIDR. So this is the CIDR range. Okay. Just copy this one and then paste it here. And then here we have to use the pairing connection. Okay. And then just select this one, save changes. Okay, now let's come here. Just I will cancel this one. Okay, let's open the port in some security groups. Okay, let's come here. Um, Go to EC2 instance, security. So in the security group, we have to edit the inbound rule, edit inbound rule, add. So let's select all ICMP v4. Okay, from everywhere, save rule. Okay, let's go to EC2 again, instances, security. Okay, similarly, let's change for second EC2 instance. Under security, come to launch wizard 2, inbound rule, edit inbound rule, add rule, select ICMP4 from everywhere, save rule. Okay, yeah, if you see, so we're able to ping the IP address. Okay, so just we have enabled the connection, pairing connection, so we are able to ping the other server. Okay, similarly, let's take this private IP. Okay, let's take this private IP, and then yeah, okay, it's already pinging. Okay, so this is how we enable the VPC pairing, guys. Okay, thank you.